Hello there, welcome to another series of tutorials by Mr. Saem TARIQ. Today we will solve October-November 2011 paper 2. Right, let's start with it. You work as an ICT consultant for Rock ICT who produce and sell music. You're going to analyze, manipulate and extract information regarding the artist and their music. You are required to provide evidence of your work, so you're supposed to create your evidence document. Okay, we have mentioned this so many times before. This is why I'm not discussing it again right now, but yes, I will tell you when and where to paste the evidence document. Point number 2, using a suitable software package, open the file n11podcast.csv. Here we go. This is n11 podcast.csv. Fine. Okay, let's read ahead. This contains the planning for 30-minute podcast for music by band lyrics. Examine this data carefully. In cell B11 to B20 are the track codes for the music tracks. So B11 to B20 are the music track codes that will be included in the podcast. Each track code has 5 parts, which means 5 parts within this code. Every character or every set of character represents something. The first 3 characters of the code for the name of the art and band, which means the lyrics. The next 2 digits are the album number, which means 03 for the album number or the artist band. For example, if it contains 03, it is the 3rd album that this artist or the band has produced. The next 2 digits are the track number within this album, which is 06 or 10 or 15. For example, if this contains 05, it is the 5th track on the album. The next character contains the type of track. It will contain the following codes, the next of them, right? The final character contains a code for the studio where the album was recorded, the final one, right? Insert a header that has the text, this, left aligned, and your center number, candidate number, right aligned. So first of all, what we have to do is we go to print, page setup, and in the header, this, and right line we add our name and center number, etc. Next, delete rows 1 and 2 from the spreadsheet. Merge cells E1 F1, merge cells G1 H1. Make all cells in rows 1 to centerline bold italic in rows 1 and 2. Centerline bold in italic. In cell C9, which is over here, cell C9, place a formula that will look up the name of the album from the file n11tracks.csv. This should return the album name lyrics 3. You may add an extra column. So in C9 we have to place a formula that will look up the name of the album, and as they have mentioned over here, the next 2 digits from here, from the next 2 digits are the album number. So basically what we have to do is, let's open up the other file. Yes, this is the file, right? This is N11 tracks. So these are the album number, okay, and this is the album name. These are the album names. So we want the album names to be displayed where? To be displayed over here. Yes or no? And we need to extract these. So we can use over here, since our data is being displayed this way, we'll use h lookup. So is equals to h lookup. Since our fields are coming row wise, we will use HLOOKUP. If our fields were column wise, we will use VLOOKUP. Now the lookup value we can't extract from there. We have to use another function which is known as mid, which is known as the splitting string function. Okay, and we need to extract the, let's read again the question paper. Third, okay, the next two digits are the album number. For example, the album number is the first three characters are the code per band. The next two digits are the album number. Right. So what we need to do is we need to find out the next two digits are the track. So we have 1, 2, 3. So what we'll do is, hold on. So basically what we have to do is we have to use HLOOKUP over here. Again, let's do lookup value. We need to use the mid function, and since the question says the next two after the third one, the next two digits are the album number of the band. So extract from this the fourth and the fifth, which means include the fourth one and the fifth one, right? The array. Now the array over here is present in N11 tracks, the number and the album name. Now since the name is in 1, 2 is in the second row, we will mention comma 2 and we'll mention comma 0. Now why am I getting NA? NA basically means that I don't have a proper value defined. What I mean to say is HLOOKUP is asking me for a lookup value. It comes here, it looks at this. This is not a value on its own. It has to be converted into a value. So for that, all you have to do is lookup value, use a value function which will actually convert it into a value and will give you the right answer. Right. Let's come to the next part. Point number 9. In cell D9, place a formula that will look up the title of the track from the file this. Hint: this should return the track Crimean Sun. You may then add extra columns. So what we have to do over here is we have to do what? Over here we want to display recording by looking at these, okay, comparing these with these. Let me explain you again. It's not very well explained. This is why it's of 18 marks, because it requires some effort. In cell D9, place a formula that will look up the title of the track from the file this. So what we need to do is we have to find, these are all the titles. We have to find the title of the track. For example, if I am in track number 8 and my album number is 4, so I am basically here. Get my point? So basically I am in this title. Or if I am in track 14 and I am in album number 7, so I'll be looking at this title. Now there are basically two ways of doing this. One is index and match, and one way is simply use VLOOKUP, but VLOOKUP will be much more convenient to do over here. Let's see how can we do it. So what we do is equals to VLOOKUP. Okay. First of all, we have to point out the lookup value. The lookup value in this case, again we have to use another function, the mid function again, but this time it will be which is the next two digits are the track number, which means, so this will be we did 42, which means now it will be 662, because we want to extract from the sixth and the next two characters, right? We have the lookup value, right? The array in this case will be this, right? But the only thing that we need to do over here is, this is the array, and now we have to define the column index number. The column index number means what? Column index number in this case will be, if I say 1, it will get data from here, which is wrong. I don't want it. So what will I do? Now since we have defined the lookup value, we have defined the array, now what we need to do is we need to define over here the let's see, we need again back from here, we have referred to this, but now we have to refer to this as well, because we want to compare this and this. So I have referred to the track over here, but now I have to refer again back to the album number. So for this, again what we will do is we'll use the mid. This is for the column index number I'm talking about, the column index number, to point to the column index number, and which is again this, and this will be 4, 2, get the fourth and the fifth one, right, and comma 0 to give the exact match, right. Obviously we have to use the value function, don't forget that, always convert it into a value. Same case over here, convert it into a value. Right. Now there could be some confusion over here. Well, let's see. I'm basically pointing over here to 9. This is 3 and 5. 3 and 5. So no, it's not giving me this, it's giving me this. So if I look at 3 and 6, 0, 3 and 0, 6, 0, 3 and 6. It's giving this, but it's giving me this. It's pointing one back. It should give me this, but it's giving me this, right? It should give me this, but it's giving me this. The reason is because I'll tell you why. Our column index number is one column ahead, and obviously that would have been the case because we selected this range. We should have not included this, but we have to include this because we want this to be a part of our searching method. This has to be there. So this is why we select all this. The only way we can get rid of this is that we add 1 to it. If we add 1 to it, if we say 1 plus this, so eventually what will happen is that, see, it's giving me the right value now, because now what's happening is it is ignoring the first one, it's ignoring the first column of the array and starts searching from the next one, which is actually the resultant one. So it will always search within this, right? So we are done with this part, right? Let's go ahead and see. Replicate the formula, add it in steps 8 and 9. We've done that. Save the spreadsheet, print the landscape orientation, the content of all columns except those containing minutes or seconds, ensuring that all formulas and labels are fully visible. Show row in column. Sort the data in descending order of sequence column. Okay. Right. And all we have to do is now you have to display the function formulas and take a printout of this, and we have discussed this so many times. File, print, page setup. We'll go in landscape and you will make one by this, and here you go. Right, let's come back and let's see the next part of the question. Okay, the cells in the start time column will show the number of minutes and the seconds after the start of the podcast at which the track starts. For example, if a track should start 79 seconds into the podcast, the minutes column will contain 1 and the seconds column will contain 19. Right. Okay, so the point is that there will be a continuation. If I have 25 seconds, right, this should be added in the next one, then the next one, then the next one. Right. Let's see. In the start time column, enter formula to calculate the start time. The start time column over here, enter formula to calculate the start time for each track by adding the start time of the previous track to its duration. Right, did you get the point? So basically we have to enter a formula over here that counts the previous one and brings it here, counts the previous one and brings it here, counts the previous one and brings it here. So how can we do it for the minutes and for the seconds? Right? If you don't understand it, read it once more. You will get an idea what the examiner is actually asking you. Okay, I will try to repeat again. For example, if the track should start 79 seconds into the podcast, the minutes column will contain 1 and the seconds column will contain 19. Right? Because 79 minus 60, you get 19, and 60 seconds is 1 minute. So 1 minute should come here. 25 seconds, obviously, till here, 25 will come. But for the next one, this 25 will be added over here, and this will be 327. Then 327 will be added here. Then you have the next one. Then the next one. So how can we deal with such a kind of case? So what we'll do is, in order to have the minutes, we will add the minutes in E3 with G3. We'll add this with this, and we need to convert them into seconds, right? So we will basically multiply it by 60, right? Then add F3 to H3, which means seconds into seconds. And then after converting the entire thing into seconds, we will divide it by 60 to convert the entire resultant thing into minutes back. And the reason I have used INT over here is because I want a whole number minutes. I don't want decimal places over here. In case of the seconds, the method that I have adopted over here is pretty easy to understand. What I've done over here is simply use an if condition. If the value in H3, right, if the value over here plus the value over here is greater than 60, if seconds exceed more than 60, then do what? Then add the value in AF3 and H3 and subtract the resultant by 60. Like the example he gave us, 73, which was 73 minus 79. 79 minus 60 is 19. So we should get 19 over here. Otherwise display the full seconds. So this method is very easy to understand. right? Let's go to the next part of the question. Once we've done this, save the spreadsheet, print a landscape orientation, done. Print the entire spreadsheet, edit the header, done. The podcast no longer time allowed. Change the track with code this to this, and change the running time 1 to 50 seconds. Change the length of plenary so that the podcast lasts exactly 30 minutes. Spread the entire sheet. Validate cell A22 so that you can only enter characters B, E, I, M or R. So we need to validate cell A22 so that we can only enter these. How do you do the validation process? Well, very simple. Come into data. After coming in data, you need to go to data validation, and over here we have to say this, and this will be only this and this. So I can only enter this or this, right? Instead of or, I will just change this a bit. I won't write or, I'll just use a comma, and instead of this what I will do is okay. So here you go. We can only enter these. I can't enter W. It won't accept it. Are you following me? Right? Show evidence of the validation rule and the error message that you have created in your evidence. So the error message you have to show. Validate cell B22 so that you can only enter an integer between 1 and 10 inclusive. So in B22 what we have to do is we have to validate this with whole number between 1 and 10. We can type the error, the message here. Enter the number between 1 and 10 right? Enter the number. We can send, or we can simply enter the number here, and we can have an explanation. Enter between 1 and 10. And error alert message means re-enter. The value entered is wrong. So if I enter 12, it gives me this error message. If I enter 2, it accepts it. This is what they're asking for. Include in your evidence document a test table that looks like this: normal, normal, abnormal, abnormal, and extreme. Data chosen, we have to explain according to this that which of this is normal. Okay, this is normal. Which is abnormal, which is not a part of this. And extreme, we can give an example 1 or 10, which means upper extreme limit and lower extreme limit. And the outcome source, actual outcome, we need to give a screenshot over here of the error message that we got. Print screen and we show it. There are 3 types of test data used to test data entry. Select 6 pieces of data test. I've explained you how to do it. Rock ICT have asked 2 different trainees to develop a web page for band lyrics. The target audience will be teenage fans for rock music. They were given source files to help them create this page. You will need to evaluate these web pages. We have to go to this URL. We have to go to this URL. Examine these pages. Produced for your manager a report of no more than 300 words explaining using example which of the web page will be the most suitable to prompt the band and why. The report should be in your own words. After you have written 300 words, what you need to do is you need to do this MS Word thing, which is not very complicated. Like I said before, the report writing part, I will include this in my DVD, and I will include this on my website www.mrsaem.com, that is mrsaem.com. The reports I will upload with the reference to the past papers so that you can have a look, right? And I will try to discuss these reports over there as well. Till the next lecture, have a good day. Meet you next time.